Okay. So for assignment 2, yes, what is the doubt in this?
Sir, question number 11.
Question number 11. Yep.
What? Yes, yes. 11 and 12 also.
Okay. What is the doubt in question number 11?
No, sir, sorry, sir. Only a question number 12. Sorry, question number 12. Okay.
Okay, just give me a moment. Okay. Yes, thank you. So, is it question number 12?
Yes, sir.
Sum of first 100 numbers using for and while loop. Okay, for we have not covered. So we'll cover today about for loop. While loop, I think we can do it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So let me. Anyone else having any other doubt in the assignments? The assignment question or the topics? Fine. I would encourage you guys to work on the assignments because he worked on the assignment Satyakina and then he got stuck here. So he is asking. So in this way, when you will try to solve these assignment questions, then you will have more questions. Okay, you will face challenges, and then you will learn, how to write better program, how to solve this kind of situation, this problem like that. Okay. Fine. So in this, so Satyaki, you tell me how do you print 1 to 100 first using while loop?
No, sir. Question number 12, sir.
Yes, but question number 11, how do you do it? How to print 1 to 100 using while loop? First tell me that, then we will do, we can work on 12. Anyone?
First, we check the condition like one less than 100. Then we'll
Okay.
print.
So what will be the condition while
I less than 100.
less than 100? Okay, and then
Then print I.
okay, next
Then
definitely
so that increment. Yes. I plus is equal to
either we can write
yes,
like so we can
that's
write
one.
like this.
Yes.
Okay, so is this going to anything else we need to do?
We have to
to give the initial
mention.
value before condition.
Yes, 0.
I
I is equal to 0. Yes.
Okay. So let me see this. Okay, so what was the question? Was to print 1 to 100. Is it going to print 1 to 100?
Yes.
Printing till 99.
So initial value
101.
Well, I is less than equals to 100.
Yes, either we can give I less than equals to, or we can give less than 101. Okay. Okay, now the second part was second question, sum of first 100 numbers. Okay. So for finding the sum, guys, we have to take another variable. Let's call it See, sum is a reserved keyword, so that is why we cannot use sum. It has got some built-in meaning. So we'll just write, create a variable like this, sum of numbers equals to 0. And here what do we need to add? Okay. We need to add each number here, sum of numbers plus equals to I. Okay. So initially it is 0. So first it will do 0 equals to 0 plus 1. I will be 1. I is 0 initially, is it? Okay. So I is 0 initially. So it will be 0 only. And then it will just, then I will be 1, then it will add 1. Then I will be 2, it will add 2. Okay. In this way, it is going to find the sum. So, but we have to print 1 to 100. Then why are we giving 0? We should give 1 here, right? I equals to 1. Okay, guys. So if I run this now, so if I go to top, so initially it was I was 1, so sum was 1. Then I became 2, so 1 plus 2, 3. And then I is 3, 3 plus 3, 6. Then I is 4, 6 plus 4, 10. Then I is 5. In that way, it is going to find the sum. So we no need to print like here in this step. What we can do, we can print it at the end. Okay. Once this is complete, and then we can print it here. So we can give some message like this: sum of first 100 numbers equals to this. Is this clear, guys? Anyone having a doubt in this?
Sir, can you repeat this one once again, sir? I can't.
So initially what is happening, see, the value of I is getting incremented by 1 each time in this while loop, right? Have we increasing it by 1 every time?
Yes,
So
sir.
what we are doing now, first we have taken one variable for storing the sum. Okay, because we need some variable to store the sum, right? So we initialize it to 0. Okay. And then in each iteration, so initially what will be the value of I, guys? 1. So it will do 0 plus 1, that will give you 1. Okay, for the first iteration. Second time the I will be 2, then it will do 1 plus 2, will give you 3. Okay, so each time it is increasing its value by the value of with the value of I, adding the value of I. So in this way, you will getting the sum of numbers. Is this clear, guys?
Okay, sir.
Clear. Yes, no.
Yes, sir. Sir, one more question. Like, I'm confused. The question number was, I think 7. So, could you please explain? I'm a bit confused.
This one?
Yes, sir. This one. Yes.
Write program to take a number as input and check whether the number is a multiple of 5 and not equals to 50 and print the appropriate message. What is confusing here? Write a program. And what you are not able to understand from this question, Satyaki?
No, sir. Sir, we have to check in if condition 5 into 5. Okay. Am I right?
I didn't get the last part. You have to check in if condition 5 into what is that?
5 into 5.
5 into 5. What is there any other way that suppose this is a number n equals to 10? How will we check whether this number is a multiple of 5 or not?
So 5 into 2.
Tell me the condition, what I'm going to write here.
If 5 into 2 is equal to n, so then
No, we
print.
cannot hardcore this 5 into 2. We have to use 5, but why 2? Why we are using 2? So if you remember, we covered some relational operators the very first, I think second day only, I think. Relational operators. If I open this file, this is no, not relational, but arithmetical operators. Just a moment. Arithmetic operator is, I think, should be here. Okay. Let me open this day 2. If so, this was what we shared. So if you see, we have a lot of operators, right? So which operator we can use here to see whether it's a multiple of 5 or not? Can't we use the remainder operator modulus?
Yes.
Like if n mod of 5, right, equals to 0, then I can say this is n is a multiple of 5.
Yes.
So we can do it like that. No need to just multiply. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
So anyone, so 10 is a multiple of 5. Okay. If I give 11 here, so we are not getting any message because there is no else condition to this. Okay. So if whenever you want to check whether any number is a multiple of any number, you can use this modulus operator.
Okay.
Fine. And in this question, there was two. We need to check two parts. All right. Another part was and not equals to 50. Okay. So we can give one more condition like this and not equal to 50. Okay. Then you can give a message like this. Anyone else having any doubt in this? Any questions, or we can start with today's topic, guys?
No questions, sir.
Okay.
You have written n is not equals to 50.
No, in this question there was this condition. Now we had to check. Check whether the number is a multiple of 5 and not equals to 50.
Okay, sir.
Okay, guys, clear? Okay, then coming to this question. So we have a scenario where the user will keep on entering numbers, okay, some positive numbers. The user will keep on entering positive numbers, and we have to find the sum of the numbers. Okay. And once the user enters 0 or negative number, the program will terminate. Okay. So the user will keep on entering some positive numbers. Okay. So for that, first we have to create an infinite loop, guys. So how can we create an infinite loop using while loop, guys? Anyone?
Without using any condition.
What shall I mention here? Here while. What can I give here, guys? To create an infinite loop.
Sir, we can use range.
No, I'm just telling how do we create an infinite loop. Just tell me the syntax. I want to create an infinite loop, and inside that loop, I want to ask the user to give some input continuously. In what? Enter a number, and we will have something called sum of numbers on variable here. plus equals to the. So tell me what conditions shall I give here, guys, in this while, after while, to create an infinite loop? Anyone? Come on, guys. Yes, in last class we discussed so much about infinite loop, different ways of creating infinite loop.
Wow. I less than 100.
I less than 100. Where is I coming from?
So you can do one thing, sum of numbers less than 100.
Of numbers. Why, if we suppose if we are giving some input as very first input, I give 1,000, enter a number, then that will come out of the loop. Na?
Technically, you are right.
How can we create an infinite loop? What condition I have to give in while with while? What do I need to write here? So
Sorry, sir, I don't know.
did I not give any question like that? Syntax, since date was signed.
10th question, sir. Please, same.
So
No, not this. Achha, what if I give here while true, right? We saw, right? If you give this,
I don't know. While sorry.
okay. So in day 2, did we not cover this while loop? Fine, no issues, guys. So let me check here. Okay. So guys, we have, if you give true, right? So this will always be true, right?
Yes, sir.
If we give true, then it will be, and also we saw, right? Infinite loop we saw in last class, right? If we give while 1, any positive number, if you remember, like
True.
it will be true, right? So that kind of like I think we covered that with
No, sir.
if else condition, right? If 1, if minus, like that, right? So that condition we can give use here also. Okay. So this is going to create an infinite loop, guys, while true. Okay. So each time it will enter this loop, it will ask the user for a number, enter a number. The user will input the number. So if the number is greater than 0, guys, then it is going to add it. Okay. And it will continue. So continue here, what it will do, it will skip, it will just go to the next iteration. Again, it will prompt the user to enter a number. Okay, it will come here. But if the number is less than or equals to 0, then it will break. So what does break do, guys? It will come out of the loop.
Yes, sir.
Right? We saw in last class break. We ended there now, break and continue in the previous class.
Yes, sir.
So it will come here, it will break out of the loop. It will break out of the inner loop, and it is then this is outside the loop, this statement. We're going to print the numbers, some of the numbers. Okay. Is this clear, guys? Anyone having any doubt in this particular piece of code?
So, sir, while to create infinite loop.
Why to create infinite loop? Okay. Because our question here is, if you see scenario, the user will keep on entering. The system will keep on asking the user to enter some number. Okay. And we have to find the sum of the numbers. If you don't create an infinite loop here, so then you have to specify the number of times the user has to give input, right? If you mention some condition like I less than 10, then only 10 times this statement will run, right? But our scenario is it will keep on entering. It will keep on running until the user enters 0 or negative number. Then this program will end. We have for this scenario we have to use an infinite loop to achieve to solve this particular kind of problem.
Okay.
Clear to
Yes,
everyone? Anyone having any doubt in this?
Sir, this is a silly question. Sir, suppose we give false, so it will not enter, na? Why false?
If we give false, it will never enter this loop, na?
Okay, okay.
So if you run this now,
Mhm.
then it initially it will initialize this to 0. It will enter this while loop. This is false, so it will not execute any of this statement and will come outside this loop and print this. That's it.
Okay.
Okay, so if you run this, see sum of numbers equals to 0 because it never entered this loop.
Got it.
Okay, so if we give a true and if we run this, so it is asking me enter a number. Okay, I entered 10. Okay, so why we are getting this error, guys?
We have
Yes,
to
we.
int.
So we need to convert this to int. Okay, because we cannot compare. By default, input will return a string, right? So this comparison with a numerical value, the string value is not allowed. So that is why you are getting that error. Okay, now if we run this, enter a number 10. So it will keep on asking numbers, guys. Okay, I'm giving 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 12. Okay, now I want to come out of this now. So what value shall I give now?
0.
If I give a 0, so it is coming out of this infinite loop. So now it is clear why we are using infinite loop, guys. Why not a particular fixed number of times? Because the scenario is like that only, that the user can input n number of times. Okay, it will only exit when the user gives a 0 or a negative number. That is why in this kind of scenarios we use this infinite loop. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Anyone who did not understand this piece of code wants me to repeat?
That's it.
Okay. Okay. So, and the use of continue and break, guys. Can anyone tell me what is the use here?
Sir, in continue, we are telling to Python, just go back to and iterate things. And in break, like suppose it gets negative numbers, so it will break and get out from the loop.
So break, what is doing, guys? It is coming out of the entire loop. Okay. And always remember, whatever statements we give after break or continue, that will not be executed. Okay. For example, outside this break, if I give this statement, we are anything. We have break before the statement. Okay, and let's suppose after continue also we have a statement like this. We have continue before the statement. Now tell me, guys, whether these print statement that I added, will this be executed or not? Can we see this these things in the console when we run the program or not?
Then it will not execute.
Okay, so it will not be visible. So if I run this, if you see, enter a number 1. Okay, again, so we have entered a number. Okay, 1, it is greater than 0, guys. So it entered this if condition. I added it and then continue. And this, see, this statement was not executed. Again, it went to the loop. Okay, and it is again asking for me to enter a number. right? I entered 2. Again, this print statement is it getting executed, guys? No. So always remember, any statement after continue or break, okay, it won't be executed. For continue, it won't be executed and it will go to the next iteration. For break, it will skip this statement and it will come out of the loop. Clear, guys, to everyone? See, -1 break, it did not print at this. So always remember, any statement after continue and break will not be executed. And for break, it will come out of the loop. And for continue, it will continue with the next iteration. Like, okay. Clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now,
Sir, can you explain the nested loops, like while loops, how to use?
yes, can you come again, sir? What is the question?
Sir, can you explain the nested loops, how to use nested loops?
Sure. We'll go for nested loop
Okay,
also.
okay, thank you. Got it.
This is for a single loop, guys. Okay, this is a single loop. Okay. We will go into a nested loop. Okay. Satyaki, just give me a moment. First, this is
Okay,
clear.
sir.
Okay. Next, let's suppose okay. So this was basically a while loop, guys. We can have a nested loop here, as Satyaki is telling. For example, let me show you. We have this outer loop. Let's suppose we gave a variable called I equals to 5. Okay. And I am checking a condition while I greater than 0. While I greater than 0, print I. Okay. And we are updating the condition as I minus equals to 1. Okay, so let me save this. Okay, guys, so this is creating the what we are seeing, it was going from forward order. This is the reverse order. Okay, we have to do minus. So in this, if I add another loop here, let's say while, and I give j let's say less than, or let it be 0 and let it be 0. And let me give j, initialize j also as 5. Okay, and we will decrement the value of j each time j minus equals to 1. Okay, so we have two loops here, guys. Okay, one is I and one is j. Okay, both initial value we have given as 5. You can give if you are not comfortable with 5, 4, 3, 2, you can make it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 also. Both are same, only just the order is changed. Okay, so if we run this, so what will happen first, I will tell you. Okay, so when the value of initially, what is the value of I, guys? When it will enter this loop, what is the value of I?
5.
5 is greater than 0.
Yes.
Okay, is it going to print 5?
Yes, printf.
and then it will decrease the value of I. So I will be 4. Okay. So it printed 5, the value of I is 4, then it will come to this loop, while loop. So what is the value of J, guys? J is
5.
5 greater than 0, right?
Yes.
So it will print J. And next, what will be the value of J, guys?
4.
After this 4, okay. So what it will do, it will again check here this condition. J is 2 greater than 0, yes. So it will print 4, okay. And then the value of 3. So again J is greater than 0, 3. Okay, it will print 3. So it will print 5 4 for the value of when I will be 5, okay. And then the value of J will be printed as 5 4 3 2 1. Okay. So value of A. I will show you this with an example. Okay.
Can you explain one more?
Sure, I will show. First, let me show you the output.
Okay.
Okay, then I will explain to you this. Okay, so so initially, what is the value of I, guys? 5. As discussed, it will print 5 here. Here. This is clear, guys, to printing 5 here.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then it is entering this loop. It is printing 5 for J also.
Okay.
Value of J 5. Okay. And then what it is doing, guys, it is reducing the value of J. And it will again, first it will execute this loop totally. Okay, entirely for all the value of J. For each value of I, this loop will be executed fully. So when the value of I will be 5, it is going to print all for J, 5 4 3 2 1 until unless this condition becomes false. So if you see this, a value of I was 5, but for value of J it printed all right, 5 4 3 2 1.
So when the inner loop is fully executed, so then it will go the parent loop, and then the print 1 4 3 2 1. Am I right or wrong?
Correct. For each value of the outer loop, this inner loop will be executed totally. Okay. So we are giving the condition at the top. So that is why after that iteration, the value of J became 0. So this condition was constantly becoming false. So it was not entering this, it was only printing I. But if we give the value of J here as 5, like each time we are initializing, okay, then you will see for each value of I, this value of the inner loop will be executed completely. Okay. So you see this value of I is 5 and the value of J is 5 4 3 2 1. Okay. Again, the value of I is 4 and the value of J is 5 4 3 2 1. Okay. So this is how outer loop and inner loop work. For example, you see this example. In outer loop, if we have a value 1 2 3 4 5, okay, and inner loop we have a value of 1 2 3 4 5. So outer loop 1, inner loop will be executed totally. Okay. Similarly, for outer loop 2, inner loop will be executed totally. Is this clear, guys? How this outer loop and inner loop works?
Yes, sir.
Come again, sir. You told me, tell me that time something
If you
outer
see
loop
this,
1.
if you see from this diagram, the value of outer loop initially is 1.
Okay.
Okay. And the inner loop is getting executed 5 times. Okay. Same thing if I do this via this program, let's me make it as I as 1 and let me change the condition I less than 5. Okay. I less than 6 and I plus equals to 1. We don't need to print anything here. And J is 0. J is less than 6. j plus equals to 1, and we are going to print here I comma j. Then you will see the same output that we are getting here in this. So initially I is 1, guys, and j will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you print I comma j, it will print 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, because the outer value, or outer loop, the value of I is 1. In a loop, it will be executed complete, fully. Okay. Similarly, again, it will go to the outer loop. After this condition becomes false, again, it will go to the outer loop. I will be 2 now, next time. So, and again, it is making j as 0. So again, it will execute 2, no, not j as 1. 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, like this. Okay. So if I run this, this is output. No, why it is 2, 1, because we are implementing here. Okay, 1 minute. Because we're changing the value of I here, so that is why we are getting 2, 1. So we have to make it outside this while loop. Okay. Now it is going to run this. See 1, 1. So value of outer loop I is 1. Okay, so and this is j value. So 1, 1, 1, 2. So in this way, it will be executed just as it is mentioned in this example. Okay.
So this is the one kind of formula you are telling, this chart.
It's not a formula, like this is how the outer loop and the inner loop behaves. Okay. For so if I summarize and write it here, for each value of outer loop, inner loop will be executed completely. Okay, anyone having any doubt in this, guys? How this outer loop and inner loop is working? Any questions?
Suppose outer loop fails,
It
will not enter the inner loop.
No, I didn't get your question. What is the question?
So suppose my first while loop is
false. You are saying that.
So yes, false. Yes, false.
Then it will not. It will never enter this in loop only. Na? It will avoid entering this. Okay. Is that clear, guys? Everyone? Can we continue with the next topic?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this was while loop, guys. Now we have something called for loop. Okay. So the syntax of for loop is like, I will just give you one example for I in the range. This range is a function here, okay, guys? In the range of 11. Print I. This is for loop. So if you see, guys, it printed as 0 to 10. Okay, here did we initialize any value, guys? As in the case of while loop, we first have to initialize some value, right? Are we initializing any value here?
No.
And are we, incrementing, or are we updating the value like I equals to I plus 1 or I equals to I minus 1 here in this? No. So these two things are being taken care automatically with while loop. Okay. No need to initialize. And there is no need to update the what do you call it, condition. Okay. Two things there. So we didn't initialize anything, guys. And what did we saw? We use a function called range. Okay, this is very important to understand. Okay. So when we did not initialize anything, it started from which value, guys? 0. right?
Yes, sir.
Suppose I don't want to start it from 0. I want to start it from 1. Okay. Then what shall we do? That is one question. Second question is, we gave range of 11 and it stopped till 10. Right?
Yes, sir.
So suppose if I want to print till 100, then what value shall I give here in range?
101.
101. Fine. So this one, so basically range function can take 3 parameters. Okay. One is the starting value. First one. Second one is the stopping value. Third one is the
Stay.
step value. Okay. So right now we just saw this is the stopping value. Okay. So stopping value is 101. That means it will stop one. It will exclude this and stop before this. Okay. This is stopping value. And the stopping value is mandatory. We have to give it, otherwise our range function will not work. Okay. Stopping value is mandatory. Any questions so far? Anyone? Starting value is not mandatory. Default, if you don't give any value, then the default value for starting will be 0. Okay, because we starting value, we are not giving anything. We are getting default value as 0, guys, here. Okay. Suppose I want to start with 1. Okay, so I will just give a 1,101. So this, or 1,11. So this is going to print us from 1 to 10 rather than from 0 to 10. Clear, guys? Starting value and stopping value. Any question in this?
No, sir.
No.
Everyone understood the starting value and ending value?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now comes the step value. Okay. So by default, step value, we can see that each is being incremented by 1, right? 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 1 is 3, right? So what is the default value of step then, guys?
1.
1.
1.
Okay. What if we give, and step value is the third parameter, okay? Starting value, ending value, step value. What will be the output, guys? Can anyone guess if we give the step value as 2 here?
1, 3.
It will skip 1, okay? 1 plus 2 is 3, so 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Clear, everyone? Any doubt, anyone in this?
No, sir.
What will be this if we give 10, guys? What will be the output? Anyone?
Uh,
11.
Tell me the from the beginning, what will be the output? Print statement. Only 11, you're saying?
Yes.
What about 1?
No, sir. 1, 11. Because it starts from 1. So 1 plus
11.
11.
Anyone else? Any wants to guess what will be the output? Okay, so let me learn this. We are getting only 1, not 11. Why? Can anyone tell me?
If we add, it will be
So
equals
you
to
have
1.
have given the difference 10, sir.
So why it is not printing
1
11?
and 11. Between 1 and 11, you have given the difference 10, so 1 will be the.
No, so if I give a 9 here, okay, then what will be the output?
1 and 10.
9.
1 and 10. Okay, 1 and then 1 plus 9 equals to 10. Okay, but when I'm giving 10, why it is not printing 1 and 11?
Sir, because you give the stop value 11, so
Right,
it will
because
not print it.
yes, because it will go till 10 only. Till 10 it can print max. Right? Till 10 it can print max, because if you see stopping value is mandatory and it will exclude this stopping value. Okay, it will
Sir,
stop.
please.
It will stop before the stop value. Okay, will exclude the stop value. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes, sir. Sir, suppose you give minus 10, so what will be the behavior?
Good question. Suppose if you give a minus 10, right? So minus we use step value. We use a negative step value when we want to traverse backward. Is given as negative when we want to traverse. Okay, so when I give this and if I run it, so it is not printing anything. Why? Because this condition itself is not proper. Okay. But let me give a -1. Okay, so this will also not print anything. Okay, because why? Because it is expecting when we give a negative and it is expecting the beginning value to be greater than the ending value. Okay, when we give 11 and 1 and we give a negative, okay, then if we run it, then it is going backwards.
How is it working, sir? Like 11.
It's very simple. See, starting value is 11, printed 11.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, and then 11 minus 1 gives you 10, 10 minus 1 gives you 9, 8,
Okay.
7, and this, it will stop till, it stop at 2, okay, because it will exclude 1.
Because 1 is final value. Okay.
Clear, everyone?
Sir, what about like multiplication, like other operators? It will be works only for minus and addition.
No, what other operators, where are we going to give? Tell me.
Like in the last you give.
Oh, no, here only positive or negative. We cannot use any
Okay.
operators. It can
Okay.
only be an integer value, only integer value also. Okay, and also it should be positive. It should not anything like mathematical operation we cannot do here. Okay.
Okay.
So which value is mandatory here, guys? Which value? It's only
Mandatory is-
one value. Okay. So stopping value is mandatory in this. Clear, everyone? So what is the advantage of this for loop when compared to while loop, guys? Can anyone tell me? Which one you would like to use?
Sir, we use while loop for give some condition, but for loop we do not have any conditions. Like while loop is
No, both are
very
loop.
powerful.
Both are loop.
Both of them.
Both are loops. So we can print 1 to 10 from there also. We can print 1 to 10 here also, right? With for loop and that.
Sir, which loop is used in industry?
Which loop is?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll come to that. So that's why I'm asking this question. What difference you find in while loop and for loop? Anyone, what difference? I have mentioned it na, in the beginning only in this file. If you see this.
Initialization.
Yes, we don't need to initialize here, and also updation is not required here, right?
Yes.
So these two are the advantages, right? For for loop, right? It is easier to write now. We don't need to bother about updating the condition or initializing the values. Okay. But there is only one use case of while loop where we cannot for all the wherever we are using while loop, we can replace it with for loop. Okay. But only on one, there is only one condition where we cannot do that. Can anyone take guess what condition, guys? I will just give you a hint. This scenario, the user will keep on entering positive numbers. This we cannot do with a for loop. Very difficult to achieve. Creating an infinite loop with for is a very difficult part. There, on that scenario only, we will prefer to use while loop, where we need to create an infinite loop, and we have a scenario like this. The user will keep on entering numbers like this. Clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Any doubt? Any questions so far?
Sir, can you show some more use cases or in for loops?
We will have a lot of use cases now.
Okay,
As
okay.
now we are just starting with the syntax. I just showed you the syntax. Throughout our this, we will be using for loop, we will be using list. Mostly we will use for loop only. Okay. While loop, whatever we learned here, that's the end for while loop. But for loop, we are going to use all the places.
Okay.
Okay, so let's say we have this for loop till 1 to 5. Okay. And we have another for loop inside this for j in the range of 1 to 6. So this is nested for loop, guys. Print I comma j. So tell me, guys, what will be the output here? Anyone wants to guess?
1 to 5, 1 to 5.
Initially, what will be the value of one I, guys? 1.
1.
And then it will come to j. What will be the value of j? 1. So initially, first, what it will print the first statement? 1 comma 1. Right or wrong?
Yes. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes, sir.
Then what will
1 comma
happen? Then j will go to the again. It will go to the outer loop, or first it will complete the inner loop.
Inner loop.
Loop.
It will complete the inner loop first.
Yes.
So for the value of I, what will be the value output? 1 comma 1, 1 comma 2, 1 comma 3, 1 comma 4, 1 comma 5. Okay. And then
Okay.
once this condition is over, then it will go here. Then the value of I will become 2. Then it is going to print 2 comma 1, 2 comma 2 like that. Okay, guys. So if I run this, you see 1 comma 1, 1 comma 2. So j is terminated. Again, it will go to the I and change the update the value for I. I will be 2. Again, it will start from the beginning for j. Just as we saw in the case of nested while loop. Clear, everyone, guys? Anyone having any doubt in this?
No, sir.
Yes, no, clear, guys.
Sir, this is one kind of Cartesian, like each and every value,
If you take it
interact
to
with. Yes,
compare with SQL, then yes, it's kind of fun.
yes, sir. Cross zone.
Okay, clear, guys? Okay. Now, let's suppose I want a output. But before that, guys, we have seen one thing. Okay, let me do it in a new file. We have one integer value as 5, and we have one string value as, let's say, 8. Okay. And if we print this n plus m, what will be the output here, guys?
Sir, this will not work, sir.
Type error. Okay. But if we use a multiplication operator here, okay, then we are not getting error. We just printing a 5 times. Okay, this is the default behavior. Okay, when a string is being multiplied with an integer, it is going to replicate that string that many times. If we are multiplying by 5, it is going to replicate a 5 times. If we are going to multiply it by 15, it is going to replicate it 15 times. Clear, guys? Okay. Now I want to print something like this, 1a in one line, 2a in two lines, 3a in this many lines, 4a like this. This is the pattern I want. Okay. The maximum number of a we will give as input. Okay, each line it should print like this. Is it clear, guys? What we are trying to achieve? We are trying to achieve an output like this. Okay, let's say the value of n will be given as input from the user. Okay, input how many rows you want. Just storing it in a variable n. Okay, now guys, tell me how can we achieve this pattern?
Sir,
We have to use loop.
for loop.
I can give you a hint. We have to use loop. Okay, tell me what should be the condition here in for loop for I in the range of what shall I give here in the range?
1,6. So
1 comma n. N is the number of rows we want. Okay. It can be dynamic. I'm just showing here 6, can be 10 also. Okay. Guys? And what shall I mention here inside this for loop?
in range of
Oh, you want two loops here? No, we can do it with a single loop here. We don't need for two loops in this. So tell me initially what is the value of I, guys? First time. As what is the
I, comma, I think, and, comma, and I think.
what will be the value of I? First time 1,
1.
right? So we multiply it with m. So it will print 1a. Again, it will increase the value of I. Next iteration will be 2. So it will do 2 into m. Again 3, 4 till n minus 1 it will go. Right, guys? So if I run this, how many rows you want? Suppose I'm giving 10 or I'm giving 5. String object cannot be interpreted as an integer. Sorry, we have to convert this into an integer here. Now if I run this, how many rows you want? 5. But we are getting only 4 rows here. What changes shall I make here, guys, in this?
Input.
Anyone? Where do I need to change the condition? Anything? Why? Because n is excluding it,
n
right?
plus 1 we can.
If you give n plus 1, then it will go n times, guys. Clear? I want 5 rows. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Any doubt, anyone in this? Everyone understood this, guys? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Just, so suppose we want to print in last line is 5 base 5. So suppose we want that 5 in first.
You're telling you want a format like this,
Yes,
like
yes.
reducing one. So we have to just
Mhm.
use that, our loop in the negative, like in reverse order. How can we do it here, guys? Tell me. We'll change the starting condition as n here. Okay. We'll give the stopping value as 0 here. And what will be the step value? We are
N
going in the
minus 1.
negative order, reverse order, it will be -1, right?
N minus yes.
Correct. So if you run this now, and how many rows you want? I want 10 rows. Okay. This fine, guys.
Yes, sir.
Any doubt, anyone? We can give any string value, guys, instead of a. If you want to give a star, okay, you no need to even create a variable here. Directly, you can give it in this only I into in quotes. You need to give whatever character you want to, because anything in quotes is treated as string. So this is going to print your stars. Clear, guys? Okay. So this now we have some basic idea about loops. Okay, we have some basic idea about loops, for loop, while loop, which one to use when, what is the advantage of one. We are clear with this. Okay. Now let me show you. So far, guys, we have seen functions, right? Like, see, input is a function, right? Print is a function, int is a function. Okay. So whenever we have something in bracket, okay, like this, and let's say input, whenever we are using uh, a keyword and then this bracket, so this bracket now, this denotes that this is a function. Okay, we saw this input as a function, we saw this print as a function, a lot of functions we have seen so far. Okay, tell me, guys, if is a function or not? If or for or while, it is it functions?
No.
They
No,
are keywords.
they are keywords, they are not functions. Okay, functions always have this bracket. So these functions that we saw, guys, these are called, these are inbuilt functions. They're already present. Sorry. These are inbuilt functions. They're already present by default. We no need to do anything for this. Okay. Next we have something called user-defined function. User-defined function. So we will just see the basic of functions, guys, and then we will cover it in later in more depth. Okay, I will just show you basic of functions, and then we will go to list and all. Then we will see there, and then we will come back to function. Okay. So in case of user-defined function, guys, so we declare a function using this keyword called def. Okay, def and the name of the function. For example, let me name this function as display, def display, and it is going to print welcome. Change the name of this display welcome. Okay, so this what we have written here, this is called function definition. We are defining a function here. Okay. And here we will be calling the function. So this is function definition. And here we are invoking or calling the function. So for invoking the function, guys, you just have to give the function name. Okay, and this. So if I run this, I run this, guys, so what will happen? First, we are defining the function here, okay, and then we are calling it. So what is this function doing, guys? It is only printing welcome, nothing else it is doing. Clear, guys? It is only printing welcome. It is not doing anything else, okay? So if I run this, so it is only displaying welcome, guys. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now suppose so this anything with this def and this is called function definition and this is called function invocation. Okay. But always remember that the function definition should always come first before calling the function. Suppose if I write it after this, okay, first we are invoking and then we are defining. When we do like this, then it is going to give us error. Okay, display welcome is not defined. Just like when we try to use a variable that has not been defined, similarly, we are trying to use a function that has not been defined. Okay, so always remember this function definition should always come before the function invocation. Is this clear, guys? Everyone?
Yes,
And
sir.
now suppose I want to this is function definition. Okay. Let's create and suppose if I want to pass some value to this. Okay. For example, I'm passing a variable called name. Okay. And it is going to display this. Welcome. We are using a string here, guys, and we are doing name. Okay. Where is this value of name coming? We will have to pass the value here. Suppose I'm passing here Sam. Okay. So whatever we are value, suppose in this we are passing Sam, again we are passing for, let's say, like Samir. We can call the function n number of times. That is the beauty and advantage of functions. Okay. We no need to write print every time because this is a simple function, only one line is there. You'll see there are many functions having 10 lines, 20 lines. And we are using the same, function multiple times in our program. So what we do, we define the function only once and we call it again and again. So this it makes code more reusable, right? Code reusability is better, code readability is better. So these kind of advantages we get. Okay. So we have three names: Sam, Samir, Samira. Okay, and we are calling each time we are calling it, and it will print each one. Welcome Sam, welcome Samir, welcome Samir. Okay, so this name that we pass, guys, in this bracket, this is called parameter. Okay, this is called parameter. And here the value which we are passing Sam, Samir, or Samira. Okay, these are called arguments. What is the difference? While invoking the value that we pass, that is called argument. And while defining the variable that we pass, that is called parameter. Okay. So this difference is clear, guys, difference between parameter and argument. Is this clear, guys? What is parameter? What is argument?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
argument is like a value, like we have to pass
Yeah.
the value.
Correct. That is also, you can call it a value also. An argument pass the actual value.
Sir, how this internally works, sir? Like first go for value or parameter, check the execution plan.
Yeah, this function definition, this is being stored first. Okay. It is expecting a variable. Whenever we call this, it is expecting a value to be passed in this. Okay. For example, if we call it, without passing any value. Okay. If we call it without passing any value, just with these two brackets, and if we run this, see, it is telling me is one required positional argument missing.
Yes.
Okay. So first it will store the function definition. And then whenever we call this function, it will check whether it is matching or not. Okay. And then this will be
Oh.
executed.
Oh,
Okay, guys. So this is called user defined function, guys. We are defining on our own. Okay. And these functions that we were using so far, these are called inbuilt functions. They are already present in Python by default. We no need to write it. So is this a difference clear, guys, between inbuilt function and user defined function?
yes, sir.
Okay. Now see, so what so far we have seen function definition, function invocation, parameter, and arguments. We have something called return statement also, whether this function is returning anything or not. Okay. So let's suppose display welcome and I want to return some value here. And we return any value. Okay, this is one type of function. I will show you one more type of function. So let's suppose we have a function to check whether a number is odd or even. Okay. We have a function like this, and we are passing an input here, one number, and it will check, if that number, modulus 2 equals to 0, then it is going to return. And it is going to return one string like number is even. Okay. Number is even. Else, if it is not 0, then we can assume that number is odd, guys. So it will return number is odd. Okay, guys, so we have this function defined. Okay, and now we'll call this function and pass a value here, 10. And let me save this. Let me call it UDF, user defined functions. And what will be the output here, guys? Can anyone guess? If I pass 10 here,
Number is even.
what will be the output, guys? Am I audible?
Number is even, right? 10.
Number is
Will
even.
return the number is even.
Number is even.
Is it going to print anything?
It's
It did not print it. Can anyone guess why? Because there is no print statement inside this, right? We are not printing. We are just only returning a value. So what we have to do, guys, we have to capture the value in some variable called result. So we have to capture this value and then we print this value. Then it is going to give us the output number is even. Is it clear, guys? Anyone having any doubt in this?
No.
Sir, like when we have to use return, so we have to create a variable and store the value in this variable and then we print.
Either you do this way, okay, or you do this way. You can just directly write inside print statement. You call this function. Okay, I'm commenting out these two lines. Okay, here we are not storing in a variable, but this is not a good practice what I'm showing you. Always the good practice is you should store it in some variable. Okay. So in this way also it will work.
Okay.
Clear, guys? Now let's suppose in last program, okay, this function was not returning anything. Was this returning anything, guys? This function?
No, sir.
No. So what we
Like
can
to
say,
call.
return is optional. It is not mandatory. It is, this return statement is optional. It is not mandatory. Clear, everyone?
Sir, so suppose in this question, right, if number, no, modulo 2, and then please give print statement. The next program, like that.
Can you come again? What is the question?
Sir, before else statement, please print.
Okay.
Mhm. Yes, yes. Anything.
Okay, this you're telling.
Mhm.
So if you give an odd number, okay, then it will enter the self statement,
Mhm.
right, guys? If I enter 11, then it is going to enter the self statement. Yes, no.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So it is printing also. Number is odd here, okay, and then it is printing here also. 2 times. But if we give a print statement after this return statement, okay, if we give a print after the return statement, you won't see 2 times, only once, because once it hits this return, it will directly, the control will go out of this function. Okay, it won't execute this statement.
Okay.
After return, any statement will be ignored.
Okay.
Clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anyone have any doubt in this?
Sir, while
Yes.
defining a function parameter, need to follow any rules like following identifier rules or the rules.
Yes, function name, yes, same the rules that stands for identifiers, same rule stands for function name as well. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, now coming back here, in this program I was telling, so this is not returning anything, this function, guys. Clear? Now, if I store the result of this function and I print it, so what will be the output, guys? This is not returning anything. What will be the output? What is the output, guys, here?
None.
None. Okay, none is also a data type. None is also a data type. Okay. It basically represents null. In other programming languages, null, that is displayed here as none. Okay. Clear, everyone? None. Because it is not returning nothing, so that is why we are getting output as none. Clear, guys? Yes, no? There is no value. So no value is like it's denoted by none. It's like a data type having none. Okay.
Sir, how to handle none?
Now here we
Yeah.
don't have a situation here for handling null. I just here
Okay.
like SQL we have so many things right for null. Here we don't have that headache. If we just want to check whether it is returning anything or not, yes or no. We can just then check if none. We can have this condition here. If the result equals to none, okay, then we can print something. The function is not returning anything like this.
Yes, sir, got it. Like in Scala, we have to handle the null pointed exception. So then we use option and none.
Right. Okay, function is not returning anything. Clear? Now you guys tell me, coming back to the inbuilt functions, okay, this is done. We have, so each function will either have a return statement or it will not have a return statement, okay. So if we see this input function, user defined function, okay guys, so this is a function we are calling it, and the result we are storing in n, right guys?
Yes.
And we print n. Okay, so enter a number 12, we are printing n. Okay, now you see print is also a function, guys. It is having bracket, right? What if we store the value of print in a variable and then try to print that variable? Because print is also a function, right guys? It is having this brackets.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if we try to print result or the return value of this, result is nothing but the return value of print statement. Okay, return value of print function. Sorry, return value of print function. Enter number 12. So what is the return value of print function, guys?
None.
None.
None. Okay. So this I wanted to like explain to you why if we do we store the value of print function, we get a none. What is none? Now it is clear, guys, what is none? So return value of input we have, this is returning the value that we are entering. But print function, there is no return statement, so that is why we are getting a none.
Yes.
Can we use input in definition function?
No, we cannot use input here in function definition.
Okay.
Inside that function, you can have an input, but this function, this line, you cannot have an input statement.
Okay.
Yeah, guys. Any doubt, anyone?
No.
Okay. So yeah. Now suppose we have a problem like this. User is going to enter two numbers and will be given a choice to do find the sum or difference or multiply or divide numbers. Okay. So let's see. I'll just show you one example where we can do this. Okay. So we can have, let's say, first number user will give us input. We are converting this into T. Okay, so user into the first number and then operation. Okay, enter the operation you want to do. And I would say uh, press or enter in the next line we can say that, or before that we can have multiple print statement. Enter A for performing addition. S for performing subtraction. I hope guys you are able to understand. I am not going too fast, guys. If you are not able to understand anything, please interrupt me. Okay. For multi. Guys, you have to practice the assignment, guys. Then you know you will be able to master the concepts. Okay.
Yes, sir. Maybe.
So if operation equals to A, then we can if this is A, then it is going to find the sum, right? It is going to add the two numbers. So we can have a print statement here. Print first number plus second number. You can mention like this. Is we can have multiple if else here, guys. LF. So right now we are okay. Let me do for all of the okay. Operation equals to B, not B, it's S, right? Then print. So guys, see the indentation we have to follow. Okay, indentation is very important here. Without indentation, it will be a problem. Okay. Yes. LF operation is like multiplication, right? Multiplication, then can mention here product is else Let's not entering division here. Okay, just commenting it out. Let's have three operations. Okay. Print. And if the user enters something else, invalid. Okay, is this clear, guys, to everyone? This okay. So if I run this, enter the first number I'm giving as 10, enter the second number I'm giving as 12. So enter the operation you want to perform. Suppose I want to perform multiplication, I'm giving an M here and hitting enter. So the product is 120. Okay, guys. Now suppose this is only for two numbers. Okay, guys. Now if I change this condition, but before that, rather than doing all the print statement addition here, I want to create three functions for addition, subtraction, and this division. Okay, that will be one condition, and another condition that we can give. We'll see. So let's define, guys, three functions for addition, subtraction, division. Okay. Def. Let's call it add a comma b. Okay. And this is going to print me. It's not returning anything, it is performing addition. Okay. A plus b. Okay, this is one function. Let's have another function, def, okay, and is doing a minus b. Let's have another function, mul a comma b. This is going to print a. Okay. So rather than calling it here like this, I will just give the function name here. Add. Okay. And what shall I give inside add, guys? What should be the value of the variables? Anyone?
A plus B.
Where are we storing the input that we are taking, guys? Where are we storing the variables from the input? First number, second number. Okay, these are the arguments. This is having the actual value, right, guys? Is this clear, guys? Any doubt in this? Yes, no? Are you able to understand?
So,
So if I run this, enter first number, 10, enter. Oh, we did not enter anything. Okay, let me run it again. Enter first number 10, enter second number 12. Enter the operation you want to. I want to perform an addition. I'm giving A here. Just giving me 22. Okay. Now this is very simple, guys. Okay. I hope this is clear to everyone. Anyone having any doubt in this?
No.
Okay. So in this way, guys, we can make use of this, small functions, and then we can reuse it. Okay. We can have multiple conditions here, and we can call it accordingly. Okay. But we have going forward, we'll see more use cases for this. Okay, we'll see more use cases, but for that, to understand more use cases for this, we have to understand some important data structures in Python. And one of the most important and very basic is list. Okay. So before going into list, just to summarize what we have covered so far today. Day 3, right? In day 3, so far we have covered for loop today. Okay, for loop. We have covered about a range function. We have seen nested loops. Okay. We have seen the very basic form of functions. We have lot of things to cover in functions that we'll be covering in the upcoming classes. I just showed you very basic uh, functions that also user defined functions. And we covered about this non data type, like a non value, right? This thing we have covered. What else did we covered? I think we have covered this much only so far. So guys, is all this topic, is this clear so far? If we are clear, then only I will move to list.
Can
Everyone?
you show some nested for loops that you give only to examples?
So nested for loops.
Yes, yes, sir.
You want to see nested for loops again?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I want to see some more example, one or two. So then it will be clear. Yes,
Nested for loop. Where is it for loop? This one is one example of nested for loop. See this?
Mhm.
Here we are printing all combinations. So outer loop is for one value of outer loop, the inner loop is executing entirely, right? Then for the second loop of outer loop, this is being executed entirely. So this is one thing we saw here in this.
So can we use a three for loops?
Can we use?
A three for loop, three.
We can use that also. For example, let me have this. Any number of for loops you can have.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Then print here ijk.
In this case, the order of execution.
So in this, what will happen? First outer loop 1, then j is 1, and then k will be executed entirely. Okay.
Okay, okay.
So it will be executing like this. You can have any number of for loops.
Okay.
So I is 1, j is 1, k, the value of k will change from y to 6161. Wait 1 minute. For k, I have not given range here, sorry. And the range, right? Now if I run this, so it started with, you see, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 3, 1, 1, 4, 1, 1, 5. Okay. So k is completed here. Now again j 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. In this way it will be executed. Okay.
Okay, sir. Got it. Thank you.
Right. So guys, list is very important. It is used almost everywhere in Python. Okay. So what exactly is a list? Okay. We can say it's a collection of values. Collection of values. Okay. The values can be of different data type. Values can be of different data. For example, let me create a list. I'm just mentioning it as list 1. And inside this square bracket, guys, we can give any number of values. Maybe of different data types also. Okay. So this square brackets, guys, this represents a list. Okay, square bracket. Okay, so how will we know, guys, if we want to check the data type of this list? How are we going to check the data type, guys? What is the function we have by default?
Data
What is it?
type.
Type, right? Yeah. So if we use type and the name of that variable, so list one is the variable, and you want to see the data type of this. So what is the type, guys?
The list.
List, okay. And what is list one? List one is the variable name. So all the naming conventions for variable, the rules will be applicable here as well. Clear, guys? And if you want to print the list, this is the list. Guys, now we have something called, let's suppose I want to print the first element in this list, okay? Printing the first element in the list, okay? So the values in the list, okay, they can be accessed by something called index, okay? And it starts with 0. So if let's suppose, let me create a new one then. So in this list, suppose we have value like 1, we have value 1, we have value 2, we have value 3, we have value 4, we have value Sam and 12.6. And then we have value 12.6. Okay. So these are the values, and or we can say elements. Okay, and here is index. First element is at index 0. Index starts with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, these are the index. So if I want to access the first element, guys, we have to use the index of 0. Okay. So how are you going to print? We are going to use this. And then in bracket, I will give 0. This will give me 1. Okay. So what value I need to give, guys, to print Sam? What will be the index value?
4.
4. Okay. Sam. What if I give index of 6? Is there any value present at index 6, guys?
No.
No.
So if we give some index which is not present, then we are going to get an exception error, and the name of this error is less index out of range. This is a very common interview question. They will ask you what happens when you try to give an access a value that is not present in the list. You are giving a higher value, so you will get this error, less index out of range. Then, guys.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I want to access the last element in this. How do I access the last element, guys? What will be the index value for this?
5.
5, because there are 6 elements, so we are telling 5. Right?
Yes, sir.
So here in Python indexes, you can also, use negative indexes. Okay, like for example, so this 5 will give you the last element here. 12.6. So in Python, you can use negative indexes also. This was positive index. Okay, negative index. The last value will always start with -1. Okay, and then we will have -2. Then we will have -3. Then we will have -4. Then we will have -5 like this. Okay. So if I give here index of -1, it is going to give me the last element.
12.6.
Okay, so in this way we are not hard coding it because sometimes the list can be dynamic, right? And if you want to get the last element, so you can make it dynamic by using -1, no matter what is the size. This -1 will give you the last element present in that list.
Sir,
Yeah, guys.
suppose we want to print 12.6 and 3 together.
You want two elements
12.6 and 3.
and this 3 in the middle.
Yes.
Okay, so you cannot see, you can take a range of values from this, okay? But if you want specific values, then you have to give the index of this separately, not in this, okay? You have to give a value like this. You cannot do it in the same one thing. Okay. Now suppose you want to find there are some methods in the list, some operations that we are going to see, okay? Those are also important. So I want to find the length of the list. I want to find the length of the list. So we can just use this function.
Length of this one.
The length of this.
List one.
So what will be the value of this list? Length? How many elements are there?
6.
So it will be 6. Okay. So if I want now to get the last element, guys, can we do it with the help of length function to get the last element, just like we did with -1? So can we make our program this one code dynamic? If we want to find the length, the last element with the help of this length function, how can we do it? Can anyone guess?
Sir, after length, you have to use the third bracket and -1.
Make it like yes, exactly. We can give the length, and we can give a -1 over here. Okay. So this will also give me the last element, guys. 12.6, 12.6. Clear, everyone?
Sir, list is a mutable data type.
What list is a?
Like mutable, like we can access and we can change the value.
So list is, I will come to that mutable and
Okay.
immutable thing. Okay. So suppose, let's say I want to change this first element. I want to replace this first element 1 with my name. Okay. So how are we going to do that, guys? Let's say we want to override some values. Okay. So what I have to do? So the first element is at which index, guys? What is the index?
0.
0. I want to give my name here. And then I want to print this list. Now you see the list got changed. That means we are able to override some values. Okay. We are able to change the values. So that is why This list is also called mutable. What do you mean by mutable? One definition, one of the condition for mutable is we are able to overwrite the existing value. Okay, but after list, when we will see tuples, so this operation is not allowed in tuples. Okay, so that is why tuple is immutable. So I will come to that. Okay? No worries. So okay, tuple, but this is mutable. Why immutable? Because we are able to overwrite the values. Okay, that is why list is mutable. You can say collection of values or elements. And also what one more thing what we saw about list is mutable. Is this clear, guys? Mutable, why list is mutable?
Yes, sir. We can change the values. So that's why it's
It is mutable. Okay, now suppose I want to okay, overwriting some value we have done. Now we can have a list inside a list. Okay, for example, we have this list, and right now we have changed it. This is the list, anyways. In the end, I'm adding another list. Okay, and this list is having, let's say, values 12, 13, 1, 1, 1. Okay, guys, so we are having a list inside a list. So this is called a nested list. Okay, so now if I print this list, so we are having a nested list, guys, here.
yes, sir.
Okay. Now let me print the last. Now let's suppose I want to check or I want to access this element 13. Okay. I want to print only this 13 from this nested list. How are we going to do that, guys?
1, comma 1, 1.1 or 1, comma 1.
So first we have to see at what index this is present, okay, this list. So we know it is present at this -1. This is the last element. Okay, what is this going to print, guys? List one, my index of -1. What is this going to print?
111.
111.
No, sir.
Is it going to print 111, guys?
Sir, 12.6.
So in the last element right now we have a list, and that list is having values of 12, 13, and 111. Okay. So this list is present at index 6. So that is why when we run this, it is going to print the list. Why? Because this list is present at this index. Clear, guys? Everyone? This is not an individual value as we saw in other cases, right? So it is a nested list. So that is why it is going to print the entire list. Clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Now I want to print the 13 from this one. Okay. So what we have to do now, we have this list in a list. And from there, I want to print the second element at second index. So this is going to give me 13. Clear? If I want to print 111, guys, how are you going to do that? 111.
2 or -1.
What value shall I give here? -1 or 2, right? Anything?
No, it's okay.
Okay, even if you give a 2. Clear, everyone? Any doubt in this?
No.
Okay. Fine. Now,
Sir, suppose after triple one, so suppose we have some other list.
one more list you are telling?
After that bracket.
Oh, in this only another
Yeah.
one more list here inside this list.
Yes.
Okay, now we have a list inside the list and a list. Okay. So now tell me, what is this going to print? -1 and the third index. So -1 will access this entire list, this one. And what is the element? Or let me print the last element only. What will be the output of this, guys?
Semi-test.
Will it be individual elements or will it print the entire list, this one?
Semi-test entire.
Entire list, right? So if you run this, okay. Now if you want to access individual elements, we have to give one more bracket here. Okay. And print the individual elements.
Samir.
Clear? Any doubt anyone in this? Is it clear?
Sir, how can we add an element in between the list without changing the number of elements in the list?
Without changing the number of elements, how can we?
Add an element in between the list, sir, like without changing the order of the list. Like in between 1 to we can replace any other element.
I will come to that. So we have some methods for that. Okay.
Okay.
But this is clear, right? Accessing in nested list element. Then I will come to adding element at the between or at the end, like that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so let's take a simple list. Let's have only a simple list which is having values like 1, 2, 3 elements. Okay. Now we have a method called append. Adding element at the end of list. Okay. So if you do something like this, list append, and I'm adding, for example, 0. Okay. So where is it adding, guys? It is adding at the end. Okay. If we add another element like this, 100. So what will be the sequence, guys? 1, 2,
0.
3, after that 0, 100. Okay.
Yes.
Fine. Now let's suppose I want to add some element at the beginning, not at the end. Append, what append does, it is appending at the end of the list. Okay. So for that we have another method that is called insert. Inside insert, you have to give the index position. Okay, what is the index of the first element? 0. Right, guys?
Yes, sir.
Index starts from 0 and I want to enter this name in the first. And then we are going to print the switch. Where? What is the difference between append and insert, guys? Is this clear? Any doubt in this?
Sir, 0 is not coming before Sumit, sir.
Sorry, 0.
Sir, 0 is not coming before Sumit, but you mentioned, yeah.
So why 0 will come before Samir? Append, we are using append here, na? Append will insert at the end of the list. And insert the whatever index you are giving now. So index 0, that's the first element I want. So that is why it is being the first element.
Okay, sir, 0, 0. Okay, sir. Okay.
Oh, this is index, guys. This 0 is index.
Index.
Insert.
I thought this is a value. Okay.
And we have to give index position also. Okay, I hope that answers your question. How to insert in the in between.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Rafia. So okay. Now we have another. Now we have, suppose we have uh, two lists. Okay, list and list 1. And in this list, we have some values like 44, 55, 66. Okay. Now for concatenating to a list, okay, we have a method called extend. Okay. And I have to give the name of the second list here. List and list 1. Okay, now I'm printing this list. So you see this, guys, the two lists are now concatenated, right? This gets added at the end of the first list, 44, 66. Then, guys, with the help of extend, we are adding two lists.
Yes.
Okay. And let's suppose in append we are also passing a list, same list. Now we are not doing an extend, we are appending. Okay. This also adds this list, guys. But what is the difference you're finding? When we did extend, it added these elements, and we did append, it added this element. What is the difference between them?
Sir, append will add a extra list.
Yes, so this difference is there. When we are in append, if we pass a list, it is adding it as a single element, entire list, right? But when we are using extend, it is taking these individual elements from the list and adding it as individual elements. Is the difference clear, guys? Extending and appending another list. What is the difference? Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this append, extend, length, insert is clear. We have other operations also in this list. Like if we want to remove the entire list, okay. So we have this keyword called del, del list. If you want to remove any variable, you use this del and the variable name, okay. We deleted that list, it's no longer present, and now if you try to print that list, see we are getting an error, list is not defined. Why? Because we have removed that list using del keyword.
Sir, suppose we want a particular value to delete or
So this was deleting the entire list. Now suppose I want to remove a particular value, so we have this method called remove. Okay, and we'll give the element name. For example, I want to remove. Let me comment of this append. So I want to remove this one element one. Okay, I want to remove Samir from the first one. Okay, so I'll just mention this Samir. Okay. So you see this Samir was there, then we remove Samir, now Samir is no longer there. Clear? Clear guys? Yes or no? Okay, now if I try to remove one value which is not present in this list, okay. So this value is not present in this list. If we try to run this program, we're getting an error. This element is not in the list. Clear everyone? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So guys, so we'll end so we have covered, we have seen list and we have seen some basic operations on list. I will just mention the names. So we have seen how do we define a list, how to find the number of elements in the list, how do we append a list at the end, how to insert, extend, how to remove the entire list from the memory. We have seen the use of remove. Okay. So these things we have seen, guys. So tell me, guys, all these topics from day one. I hope you do you have any doubts and how do you feel so far? Am I going too fast? Are you able to understand?
Uh, what I'm saying that I couldn't join the classes of day first and the days no day first. So could you share me the recording video?
Yes, yes, sure. Well, if you got added recently, I will share it again.
Okay. So what I have to give you email ID?
So yes, guys, those who have joined recently, guys, in the target group, please ping your email IDs in that group. Okay, those who have not done so far.
Okay, sharing.
So other folks, could you please just give some feedback on so far? How is the pace? Are you able to understand the topics? Any areas of improvement from my side? Any changes you want, to be done?
Sir,
Yes.
in the recent example, I have a doubt. Remove method.
Yes. That's all. I will come to that. But before that, any feedback, guys, on this? Anything you want to be changed, or how it is going? It is fine. You are comfortable with this flow. Okay, no review, no feedbacks. Fine. So, what is the question here? Remove method.
Sir, in remove method, every time we need to mention the element name to remove, sir. Like
Yes.
we can't give index position.
No, we cannot give index in remove.
Do we have any method like to give index position?
No, we cannot. We can do it in some other way. No, right, but we don't have any method to give the index and remove element. Yes, in the upcoming classes, yeah, these were the basics. Now we'll see a lot of other operations and it will be more interesting. Yes. Okay, guys. So, so I will wrap up the session here for today. Okay. So guys, those who have not gone through the videos of the first initial classes, do watch it. Otherwise, you won't be able to understand what is being taught in the subsequent classes. Okay. And I have not seen any assignment. So no, not one. Like no one has submitted any assignment so far. Okay. So that is not a good thing, guys. I would encourage you to work on the assignments. Then only you will be able to correlate with what I'm teaching. Okay. That is very
Sir,
important.
where, sir, I have to submit the assignment?
You directly
I don't
after
know that.
completing the assignment, now just send me in WhatsApp. Okay.
Okay, I will.
So
Thank
what
you.
you do, I will show you. So I have written this program. Okay. So what I
Okay.
do, I will just save this, save a copy as, okay. And this is day 3. I will save it as a text file. Okay. I will save it here. And I will upload the same text file in Drive. Okay. So you similarly, after you write your program here, save it as a text file and then share that across to me. Okay.
Sir, I practice into this PyCharm, okay? So I'll save that in.
You can copy that
notebook.
code, put it in this, and then share. That is also fine.
Okay.
If you guys want, I can share a few sample assignment solutions that was sent in earlier batches. You can also follow the same way they have done. Okay.
Sir, please share some assignments.
Okay, sure. I will share one.
Okay, I will put.
Anyone else having any other doubt, guys? So are we good for today?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, guys. Thank you, guys. No questions. Then we will wrap up this session. Thank you for your time. Do work on the assignments.
Thank you for your time, sir.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.